Welcome back to another video. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer and founder of the Clark and Addison Gaming Company. In this video I'm going to show a demo of a new basketball game that I'm trying to put together, and no name or anything as normal for the games that I'm just beginning the development on. But I posted this on Facebook, and so I just wanted to, there was some interest in the game and how it works, and so I just wanted to just a quick little demo of the gameplay, a sample of gameplay. This is I'm in the third quarter, starting the third quarter of a game between the 2022 Hawks up here and then the Celtics. So it's Atlanta at Boston. And just to give you an idea, I sort of started out with a generic game engine, and that's really, here I've separated out into 6 different types of plays, but it was initially just one of these types of plays, and that was the game engine. I've also got a sort of a league average shot chart here, and then as I went through, I thought, well, I really wanted to incorporate player cards in some way, and as I started to look at individualizing each of the player cards, it quickly became a daunting task. So to create one of these shot chart, or the outcome charts for every one of the players, it's not a straight 1 to 10 like I've done in other games. It's a 2 to 12, and so that means that 2 and 12 have only a 2.77% chance of hitting, and a 7 has a 16.6% chance. So those chances are not equally weighted. The outcomes are not equally weighted, and so it becomes a lot more manual labor when you're doing that, rather than just kind of ticking one box to make it go up or down from the average. So for now I'm going with sort of these are just kind of cards. You could use actual basketball cards that you have. There's nothing on this other than stats and a nice photo, which I can't sell that anyway. But I've made these nice little cards for each of the players, and really the game is in the game engine, so there's nothing up here other than deciding, how many minutes played and stuff like that. You could create your own cards. You wouldn't need these cards for anything. But they are nice to be able to kind of keep up with the action too. So I use these little triangles to keep up with the action. I have I guess I have this green one. I'm just trying to keep my place on my score sheet, but I've been playing with the red for the Hawks and the green for the Celtics, and just keeping up with who has the ball, who gets the rebounds and stuff like that. So just until I can record them. I'm using the triple play score sheet, so I've got that over to the side, and I also have created I've created this timer with 50 possessions. So that's 50 possessions per quarter is about average for a game. So you figure each team is going to get 25 to 27 possessions. So if one gets 27, the other one gets 23, that type of thing. So everybody's going to average about 100 possessions per game, which breaks down to 50 per quarter. And that game is it's just starting the third quarter. So the yellow squares are TV timeouts, which allow you to stop the game action, make any changes that you need to make, that kind of thing. I added that into Triple Threat, and I thought that was kind of a cool little addition to the game, just to add a forced timeout, so if you wanted to change out guys, you could, if the action was just kind of continuing. Alright, so the dice you need, there's a couple different ways, but you're going to need one D6 that's kind of set out by itself. You'll need a D10, and then which I have a D8 here, not a D10. So let me get a D10. There it is. You'll need a D10. And then you're gonna need 2 D6 dice that are the same or similar. So you could use 2 just like generic white dice, or these 2 are purple, you know, so they kind of stick together. You can see my colors. So I've tried to make them distinct just so that I can use them for each of the different parts of the game. This is going to go coincided with these different plays. So when we roll this, you know, you're going to have the motion play number 6. So this would be for the ISO play number 5. And the deal is that we have 6 different plays: pick and roll, a 3-point play, spot up offense, low post offense, ISO, and motion. So these can be plays or sets or types of offenses, just however you want to think about it. You can just run pick and roll the whole game if you want to. You can run one particular offense, or you can just kind of go back and forth between 2 offenses, or you can, which you can manually choose, and you can just say, on this play, we're going to run the spot up offense, and then run through that play, and you wouldn't need this die here. The D10 controls which player gets the ball. So a 10 would be the shooting guard on the 3-point, a 2 would be the small forward. So I just sort of directs you to who is going to be the person with the ball in their hand when the action takes place. And then the 2, let's say it's a 3-point offense, it's a 2, so it goes to the small forward, which is Jason Tatum in this case. And then we roll again, and a 2 plus 1 is 3, so a 3 here is going to be out of bounds. So for the D10, you're looking at these 2 columns. For the D12, you're looking at these 2 columns. So 2 through 12 are our outcomes, and that's going to be out of bounds, which means it's a turnover out of bounds. If we had rolled 4, then that would be a drive to the basket. And on a drive to the basket or a shot, that's when our shot chart comes into play. So we have results for drives, for 2-point jumpers, which will be a jumper, and you can see that on here. We have a 3-pointer, which clearly says 3-pointer. And then if there are free throws, so let's say somebody drives to the basket and then you get a shooting foul, then you need to use your free throw to determine a make or a miss. On this chart, a yellow is an offensive rebound, so it's a miss with an offensive rebound. You can see that those are at the edges. These, like I said, it's only about a 2.7% chance to hit on one of these, a 2 or 12. So you can see that most of your kind of outlier plays, not a make or a miss, a straight up make or a miss, they're going to be at the edges, so to speak. So you can kind of think of the paper like this, where the middle section is sort of the bulk of everything, and then it gets less and less as you go up or down. So that's how the 2 to 12 dice roll works when you are adding them together. Let's do another roll. So this will be an 8. An 8 would be a jumper. And so you have a 2-point jumper. Did I get on there? Yeah. So it's going to be Jason Tatum with the 2-point jumper. You can leave this here because you're going to continue to reference this if you need to for the players. And then you just pick up all 3 of these, the D10 and the 2 similar D6s. You roll them all again, and you're going to look at these. So we have a 4, and on a jumper, a 4 is going to be a miss. So this is a straight up miss with a defensive rebound. The defensive rebound is going to go to 4, and when we look on our chart, 4 is going to be the small forward. So that's kind of how we keep it all together under one play. And so that would be DeAndre Hunter with the rebound. And then you come back down the other way, and it'll be a pick and roll offense, and it's going to be the small forward So DeAndre Hunter still has the ball. And the play is going to be a 6. And a 6 is going to be a 3-pointer. So he's only about a 30% 3-point shooter. But we'll see. And we've got a 12. A 12 on a 3-pointer is the rare shooting foul for a 3-point play. So he's going to get 3 shots. The foul is going to go to 5. 5 here is the point guard. So the foul is on Marcus Smart as he comes over and fouls. He fouls DeAndre Hunter. And then for free throws, you simply roll. That's 1. So a 10 is going to be a miss. A 7 is good. And a 6 is going to be good. So he makes 2 out of 3. And we come back down the floor. So this time we have the 3-point play. Not a 3-point play, but a 3-point set, I guess is what you call it. We have a point guard, so it's going to be Marcus Smart with the ball. And 10 is going to be a non-shooting foul. So then we can just roll our D10 to find out who the foul is on. It's on the shooting guard. So it'll be a foul on DeJounte Murray. And then you continue the play. So the possession, you would mark a possession off of our possession sheet. So anytime there's like an initial roll of the dice, you mark a possession. So turnover, mark a possession. Non-shooting foul, mark a possession. Drive to the basket, mark a possession. Offensive rebound, mark a possession, and start a whole new one. Then the next play off of the offensive rebound would be another possession. This time it's a motion play, and that's going to go to Tatum. So he's got the ball in his hand. It's going to be a 3-point shot for Jason Tatum. He's a 35% free throw shooter, you can see here, or a 3-point shooter. We got an 11 on a 3 is going to be a miss, but that's to the yellow. So it's a yellow miss, and that means it's an offensive rebound. So he misses the shot, but the rebound goes to the small forward. So he gets his own rebound. And on offensive rebounds, I like to just keep it in the same set because you're probably not resetting the play. So he's got the rebound. This time he gets it over to Derek White. For White, it's going to be a 2-point jumper. We got a 4. A 4 on a jumper is going to be another miss, and the defensive rebound goes to the point guard. So it'll be Trae Young with the board. Then you just kind of keep moving your way through. 3-pointer that goes to DeAndre Hunter. 6 is going to be a 2-point jumper. Let's see if somebody can make one. A 7 is going to be good on the jumper. So you can see here, a 7 is good for the jumper, and that'll be 2 points for him. And then an 8 is going to be an assist to the shooting guard. So Murray would get the assist on the play. So that's kind of, this die has a lot of different uses, so you kind of use it for different things. And then it would be coming back down the floor for the Celtics. It's a pick and roll offense, and it's going to be to Derek White. So he comes off of the pick, and he's got a 5. A 5 is going to be a drive to the basket. An 8 will be a layup. You can see on our drive chart, or drive column here, that it's a layup, and so that's going to be good on a drive. I don't give guys the assist on a drive. Typically, it's hard to pick up an assist for a drive. So you can see that as you get into it, the game starts to get a little bit of a flow. So then you have DeAndre Hunter again. A 6 is going to be a drive to the basket for him. Oh, a 5 is going to be a dunk. So we have one dunk result here. So he gets to the rack and he flushes it, and that's going to be 2 for DeAndre Hunter. 4. This is a low post, so you can see it's a low post offense, but the point guard's going to get it. That'll be Marcus Smart. A 5 is going to be a 3-point shot off of the low post play. An 8 should be a miss. So 8 is just into the miss. So it's a 3, a 6, and a 7 for the 3-point shot. So that'd be a miss, and the rebound goes to the power forward, which is John Collins. So coming back the other way, the Hawks have the ball. They set into the pick and roll offense. And this goes to the center, so Okongwu. And a 9 is a drive to the basket. So off of the pick and roll, he gets the pass. He's going to the basket. A 6 is going to be a layup, and that's good. Now you can go through and you can sort of leave that die off, and you can just choose. And let's say we want to draw up a play for Jason Tatum. So we want to try to get the small forward the ball. What you want to do is you want to look for plays sort of in the middle range. There are different players here. So here the small forward has a few more opportunities than other players, and I'm going to rework these because I was using a 2 to 12 for these, and so it was a little bit easier to sort of see who had the most chances, because there was the 6, 7, and 8 were the most chances, just like over here. But as it is, these are all 1-to-1 chances, so each roll is 10% chance. So I need to sort of rework the percentages on those so that the players that I want to get the ball most in those sets have a higher percentage of getting the roll. So let's say we want to try to get the small forward the ball, and I think our best chance is going to be on the spot up here or the 3-point shot. He's got 3. He's got 3 here for the low post. Let's just go with the spot up offense. So we're just going to set that there. And we're going to run the spot up. Of course, it goes to somebody else, so it will go to the power forward. And an 11 will be a drive to the basket. So for Williams, so a 10 is going to be a shooting foul on the drive. So he gets to the basket, gets hammered, and he's going to go to the line for 2. The foul would be on the point guard. So as he goes by, he gets fouled by Trae Young, and he goes to the line for 2. That is going to be first is a make, second is a make, and so he goes 2 for 2 from the line. So with the Hawks with the ball, let's try to get Trae Young into this. His best chance is probably going to be the pick and roll, or maybe even the ISO motion. Let's just run the pick and roll and see if we can get Trae Young the ball. 9, of course, it goes to the center instead. So the pick and roll is going to be really your point guard and center, who are playing the 2-man game. And so that goes to the center, Okongwu, and a 4 is going to be a turnover out of bounds. So you can see that you can try to get the ball to guys, but it's no guarantee. You could just call out and say, I'm going with Jason Tatum on this one, and then you can begin to roll. You know, we're going to go with the 3-point play, and I'm getting it to Jason Tatum. It doesn't matter what happens. So that's going to be a 3-pointer to Tatum. And then we got a 5. A 5 on a 3-pointer is a miss. And then that rebound would go to the shooting guard, which is Murray. So you can do that too, where you sort of force the action, you get the ball into the player's hands. That will work too. You just need to pick an offense that you want to run, because we need to get these outcomes. So if you want Jason Tatum with more drives to the basket, the outcomes are on a 2 to 12. So if you want to drive to the basket, you want to be in the low post. If you want to shoot a jumper or a 3-point shot, you want to be over here on the spot up. Same thing with the 3-point play. Same thing with the pick and roll. So whatever is here in the middle, ISO is more of a balanced type of play. And then your motion is going to get you semi-balanced. It's probably going to be a jump shot or a three-pointer, but also a pretty good chance at a drive. So you can just kind of pick out which offense you want to run, and then you can go with that offense. But that's the game so far. There's no, there are blocks and things like that. If you had a block shot on the play, then you would simply roll to see, who made the block. It'd be a point guard here if it was this pick and roll. So this is really just going to be your choosing who did the thing, whether it's an assist or who gets the shot or who makes the block or who makes the steal. Sometimes you have a steal, so you'd mark a turnover for the player that rolled this. So let's say it was Murray and he rolled a 2, so there was a steal. He would get a turnover, and then you would need to roll, and the center would get the steal. So you would roll it that way, just off of whatever offense you're running. And I went ahead and marked up the top 15 players for every team. You can see here, so these are sort of their bench players. These are guys, you can see they're getting 23 games, 10 games for Justin Holiday. This guy only played 9 games. So you got sort of deep bench players. Same thing here for Boston. Even Blake Griffin, who only played about half the season. All the way down to Noah Vonleh, who played 2 games at center. So you have all these guys that you can play. These are sort of your normal players coming off the bench. You got Jaylen Brown, who played a lot, 35 minutes a game. Brogdon played 25 minutes a game. And Horford was a starter, but he's in foul trouble, so we have... And so is Cornette. Cornette got in foul trouble too, so we have their top two centers on the bench, and we got center number 3, who did get into 70 games, played about 10 minutes a game. I'm just regulating minutes freehand, so as fouls determine which player, and also just kind of freehanding it by time on the floor. They've been out there for so long, so that probably would be, you play 8 or 10 minutes and you come out of the game for a little bit of time, that kind of thing. But most of the time, fouls are going to dictate how I change players out, and it's merely, it's just simply changing out the cards. So substitutions, are not hard. I have all the players. I have all my starters that I start with, and then as a player comes into the game, I just have them written here, and then I've got all of their stats. I leave a little space there so I can see who the starters are, and then I just keep that. For me, it's a little slash that determines each quarter. So after each quarter, I put a little slash behind everybody's scoring, just so I know which quarter that it's in on. But you can see Cornette's got 3, Horford's got 3 fouls, slew of players with 2, and so they're starting the second half with 2. Same thing up here, quite a few starters with 2 fouls, and then some of their backups haven't committed any fouls. This game is 62-51, Hawks over the Celtics at the half. And the Celtics are beginning the second half with the ball. So I didn't have a ton of time this morning, just wanted to kind of get that demo out there to you. But what makes it unique is that you can choose your offensive plays, and you'll choose the offensive plays to get a particular player the ball, or a particular 2 players the ball. So in this offense, if you want to try to target Smart and Tatum, which is a wise thing to do, these are guys who, Tatum averaged 30 a game, Smart 12. But if you wanted to target particular players, or let's say you had Jaylen Brown in the game, and so you had these 2 guys playing next to each other, or you had it like this, and you want to target these 2, Then you're going to want to get the ball, and these are listed by positions, but really it's point guard, shooting guard, power, or small forward, power forward, center. So that's how you're going to have to play it on here. So let's say you want an all guard lineup. You're just going to have to slot them into the quote unquote 5 positions on the floor, and just think of it as point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, from left to right. And so then you would use sort of these generic terms to look at their place, not really what they are on their card, because you can slot anybody into anywhere, right? And right now there's no defensive adjustment or anything like that. It's just kind of loosey-goosey playing the offense. I'm not sure how you would do any sort of defensive adjustment, because these are not based off of a 1 to 10 where you can just sort of easily move them up and down and say, okay, well 1, 2, and 3 are like your worst things, so you move them down and then their shot gets worse or something like that. It's based off of a 2 to 12, which may need to change over time. I'm not sure. But no defensive adjustments or anything yet, but it's just kind of cool to have the visual of the player cards. I just went online and just took these and put them into the Excel, just copied them and pasted them into the Google Sheet that I use. But they work really well and gives you a kind of a cool representation of each of the players, and it makes a different kind of connection whenever you have what they look like. It helps the visioning in your head, imagining the play when you have the actual player and what he looks like, and even what they're doing in their sort of action shot. And the NBA is great because these guys, I mean, you're talking about this guy played in 9 games and he has a professional photo of him playing. And so the NBA has been great about media, and so you can always find photos even of kind of low level scrub bucket into the bench kind of players. So I really like adding that into the NBA games because they do such a good job with the media. It's not always so easy to find, the 25th man on the bench of a Major League Baseball team. So that's the game. And if you have any thoughts or questions about it, you can leave them in the comments section below. I think that's all that I have really to show. I could do a quarter or something like that. It takes about a half hour to do a quarter of the game. I'm not going to do that just because you saw everything. It's a roll after a roll after a roll. And the strategy is in trying to get your best players the ball at this point. And then if there were a way to bring in some defensive strategy, that would be good too. Don't know how that would affect things. Just have to figure out a system or a way of affecting each of the plays. So we're going to sort of leave it at that. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, you can click on subscribe. Whenever you click the bell icon, then you'll be notified of new videos when I post them. And I haven't posted anything for a week or so, but typically when I get into playing games, or testing games, you'll see, quite a few posts come out. A couple of exciting things, just really quick with the Clark and Addison Gaming Company. One, I released the 1975 season set of on-base baseball cards. So I'm going back to making on-base baseball cards, which is a basketball video, so you may or may not be interested in that. But I have a card set for, actually I have 2 now. I'll be releasing the 2022 Major League season for on-base baseball soon. But I just put them on the website at clarkandaddisongaming.com. And on the front page, there's a section there that says new releases. And you can find the 1975 season set for on-base right there. And just click on that little tile and it'll take you to the product page and you can read about it. But essentially, you're going to get all players, whether they're batters or pitchers. Everyone who got into the 1975 Major League season is going to be in that set. So over 1,000 players, all carded. If they were batters, like pitchers who batted, they have a batting card. And if they were pitchers who pitched, they had a pitching card. So they have everything. If you want to do a full season replay of 1975 with a game that's easy to play, it's based on sabermetrics, and I think is unique in the sense that all of the results come off of the cards. You don't need a chart in order to play on-base baseball with the individual cards, which was the original way that I made it. And then it kind of took a backseat because when I made the first set in 2019, it was so difficult because I was creating and manipulating the cards and then taking advice and then recreating. I had to recreate everything a couple times, and I was doing mostly everything by hand. And so I've learned a lot about Excel over the last 4 years, and so I feel like I can make some of those changes or do some of those things without having to recreate the entire set. So my card making skills have leveled up, so that's going to make it easier to make these sets. In fact, I can do probably one set a day. If I was retired, maybe I could do 1 or 2 sets a day. So I'm down to the fact that all I have to do is manipulate the handedness of the players, and I have to input the positions, what position the player played. And that's really about it. The rest of it is done mostly automatically. So on-base baseball is a sabermetric driven game, so the engine is based on sabermetrics, specifically batting runs for batters, and either Sierra for newer seasons or FIP for older seasons. So the 75 season only has the players rated by FIP because Sierra didn't exist. It doesn't go back past 2002. But the 2022 season, so last season, will be all based off of Sierra for the pitchers, which I think is a great compromise between ERA and FIP. Kind of tries to include more of the human element of the pitcher's sort of soft skills abilities, as opposed to just strikeouts, walks, hit by pitch, home runs, right? That's all that FIP is concerned with, and it's kind of black and white and hardcore about that. So that's announcement number 1, is that season is available. So go to clarkandaddisongaming.com and look on the front page. Like I said, there's a section below the no huddle. That's a big announcement at the top of the page. If you scroll down a little bit past that, there's a section that says new releases. You'll find it there. Also, I've been working with another longtime gamer who has designed his own football game. It's a drive-by-drive college football game, and it's called Border Battle College Football. And he's starting with the 2023 season, so he's rated out the major conference teams. And you can pick that up at clarkandaddisongaming.com. And I believe inside that new releases section, the Border Battle 23 game is in there as well. And if you want to read the instructions first, which a lot of people, I don't know, almost 100 people have downloaded the instructions, so people are checking the game out. It came out this weekend, and so it's brand new, and you can download the instructions if you go to the top menu of the website and you click on football. Then you'll see all the football games available. There's not very many available at this point. No Huddle is there, but also this Border Battle College Football is there. And just giving this an opportunity for him to be able to sell the game digitally. And so hosting this game for him and working with him to promote it a little bit. So go there, and if you like college football, if you like drive-by-drive games like fast drive football, then it's in the similar vein to that. You can do projected seasons, or you can do sort of the current season. So it's, I think it's a good game, and several people have tried it already. They purchased it, so it's starting to get a little bit of traction as well. A lot of interest on the forums, from what I understand, for the game. So If you're looking for something new, it's $10 for an entire season. For the 2023 season, that gets you the game engine and get you all the rated teams. And then he's gonna, I believe, offer more seasons at $5 a piece. So you'll have all the rated teams, and then you'll just use. He'll have kind of a contextualized game engine chart, and so anything from the 2000s up to now, kind of the modern era of college football. And then I think as he does later seasons, he's planning to have sort of a contextualized chart for different eras. So that should be helpful to kind of get you into the feel and the flow, and get the game feeling a little bit more realistic for playing older teams. So that's called Border Battle College Football. So those are my 2 announcements. And thanks for checking everything out. Thanks for sticking with me in this video, and also sticking with me through this journey of creating. Somebody said, well, you're always making stuff, and I like that. Well, I always have ideas. And so just when I think I'm going to take a little break, another idea comes to mind, and I can just start tinkering around. And this one, I started with the game engine. So like I said, I started kind of here, and then I worked my way out from a generic game to a more specific game using different players and things like that, and how will they affect, how can they affect things. And maybe it's better just to do a team defense on this as opposed to individual defense. We'll have to see how that shakes out, and maybe you can help with that if you have some ideas. I'm always open to new ideas, especially at this stage when the game is still just kind of taking shape. I'm playing it to see where the rough edges are, where are the things that need to be changed. I've already changed what dice you use and different things like that, because as I've sort of tested it a little bit, it feels a little too clunky. This feels like it's got nice pace to it. There's sort of, you're doubling up, on some of the dice. And so that helps it to kind of speed through the play a little bit. One of the issues with basketball is the length of time. So the more detail, man, basketball games can take a long time. 30 minutes a quarter is already pushing it, but that's about as good as I can do, I think, without going into like an up-tempo type space where you're really cutting off a lot of content. You're cutting out a lot of detail in order to speed the game up. But to get a full play basketball game, it's just going to take you a little bit of time. Same thing with football. So I try to do that with no huddle, and just cut off as many unnecessary plays and corners that I could, but still be able to give you all the detail of the game. So that was, that was about as good as I could do after 2 years of trying. No huddle was about as much as I could cut off and still give you a full play-by-play football game. And that's about as fast as I can make it, is maybe 30 minutes per quarter. So they just take a long time because there's a lot of plays. It's 200 possessions in a basketball game. There's only about 50 plays in a baseball game. So you're talking about 75% more. 300% more plays in a basketball game than a baseball game. So it just takes a long time, to get through it. But hopefully it keeps the flow. You can see that as you get into a rhythm, even if you started to play one play per team, or you only chose the 3-point play and you played that for both teams, and you were just using the one chart, you would sort of get a feel for it after a while. A 4 is going to be a drive, or a 3 is going to be out of bounds, or a 2, is going to be a steal. So some things you're going to pick up and you're going to sort of kind of feel them because you memorize them. So some things will they will be learnable, especially the shot chart. You could really learn. 6 through 8 is probably going to be some kind of make. On a layup, you have a lot of makes up to 9. So if it's a low number, you kind of know what it's going to be. So it does help to speed up the game just a little bit. All right. Again, any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you like this video, you like my content, each time, if you would just click that little thumbs up, that really helps to get it out in front of more people. If you subscribe, that also raises my stature with Google. so you can subscribe and get more content. Also, I'll put the link to the Facebook group, which you can click on that and you can go to a private Facebook group that we have for Clark and Edison Gaming. Most of the things that I release, I'm going to release there first, and then I'll sort of spread the message out to other places, but you'll get first crack, and all you have to do is answer a couple questions, and then you can get into the Facebook group. And it's private, so there's no spammers or crazy stuff coming in from the outside that you don't want to deal with. We're just there to talk about the games that I'm working on, or ideas that I have, or any questions that I might post to the group. And you can just pay attention to other Facebook groups as well if you want to get some game news, because I'll post it out to the Sports Sim magazine, or Sports Simulations and Replays, I think is what it's called. And just connecting there, asking questions, and just allowing people to join into the conversation about game creating and stuff like that. So I appreciate everybody's support. I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.